Kevin Gordon here from AutoSavant.com. Wanted to do a quick walkthrough of the 2012 Hyundai Accent that we're in right now. So the Accent is the smallest of the Hyundais currently. It is redone for this year. It comes in 3 trim levels and 2 configurations. So you can either get it as a little sedan or as a 5-door hatch like this one is. This is the SE model, which is the highest end of the 3. The least expensive of these comes in just above $12,000. This one, the SE, comes in just under $16,000. And this one's also outfitted with the iPod, iPhone connector cable for $35 and carpeted floor mats. Still, you get those 2 things under the $16,000 threshold. This one's outfitted with the 6-speed manual transmission, which allows it to achieve the 30 city and 40 highway miles per gallon numbers. Overall, it's a nice little car. This segment has gotten to be very competitive recently. The Honda Fit, the Ford Fiesta, the new little Chevy, which I can never remember the name of. It used to be the Aveo. And this are all, competitive in the segment. The Hyundai's claim to fame is space inside. And in that aspect, it does very well. If you notice, I have a significant amount of headroom in this car, and I'm 6'1". Rear seat room, using the Chris Hawk patented method of sitting behind oneself. Well, I can do that in this car. I can actually get into it from my driving position, which I do sit semi-close to the steering wheel for somebody with a 34-inch inseam, but still, I can get in the back seat and sit there no problem. This car for $16,000 comes with single disc CD, AM, FM, XM, no HD radio, and an auxiliary input, either the iPhone cable that's connected or a separate USB 3mm aux plug-in setup. Steering wheel controls for your cruise control and your radio. It has nice toggle switches which are tactile and work well. Also, the radio has wonderful knobs, these turny things that make it very easy to figure out what you want. The Bluetooth connected without issue to my iPhone. In fact, I was actually really impressed with the iPhone connectivity. When I plugged my iPhone in, it instantly started playing the last thing that was I was listening to on my phone. The stereo is nothing to write home about. It's a 6-speaker setup in this one. You get the extra little tweeters up here. It does have a super bass function that you can go through and fiddle with in there. Like I said, nothing to write home about. It's better than the one in the long-term test EcoBoost F-150, but it's really not saying all that much. From a driving standpoint, the steering's electric, and it does what you want it to. Torque steer's really not an issue. Could be a little more communicative, but can't really complain for what it is. The suspension setup is rather simple with a torsion beam in the rear. Corner's reasonably flat. Understeers at the limit. Ride is compliant, seems to be well damped, no real complaints from that aspect. Fit and finish is good. All the panel gaps are good. It's a little bit of a somber place. It's black and gray. The gauges are cleared, not all that exciting. This is all hard plastic up here. The roof liner's sort of that cardboardy, felt covered thing. Hard A-pillars. But I can't really complain about its looks other than the fact that it's a little somber in this, outfit. There's also a tan interior color that you can get. You get, auto down, power window, no sunroof. From a driving perspective, it's not the most thrilling thing, but with the manual, at least you feel a little bit more connected to what's going on out there. The clutch uptake on the manual is good. It grabs high in the range of the revs, but you do know at least where it's going to. I've never had a problem on any hill starts or pulling away from any place in this car. You'll notice that there is quite a bit of road noise that comes in, as there are on most of the economy cars out there these days. You know, you would need to raise your voice to carry on a conversation driving this thing on a noisy concrete highway like we're on now. From a fuel economy perspective, I've done a few resets and one refill in this car so far, and on the highway I was seeing, you know, a realistic 37, 38 miles per gallon. I wasn't quite able to hit that 40 number, but I do think 40 on the highway for this car is a fair rating. The reason for that is if you drive this car the way the EPA does, which is there's a little, you know, eco reminder in the center console, in the center of the dash, that tells you when to upshift. If you drove it that way, you'd hit their numbers. But if you drove it that way, you might be a bit of a danger merging on to fast-moving highways. Back to the space of the car. So there's a little center console here, and this center armrest slides back and forth for your comfort and convenience. There's nice little bottle holder door pockets. The thing that is most impressive, though, which you'll see in the pictures that go along with the post for this, is behind the rear seats. There's a significant amount of space in this little car. More radar detection. I've been carrying around a duffel bag, my full box of stuff that I carry on my GoPro in, my camera, and a few other things, and there's still room back there. So, you know, again, from a space perspective, this is probably the most impressive of the super compacts or the very compact cars that are out there today. To sum things up, the 2012 Hyundai Accent, a well-equipped in its class, well-priced, very large inside compact car that's more than competitive in its segment. If you're considering something in this size range, definitely go give one a drive to see what you think. In my opinion, it's lacking a little bit in personality. You know, it's a little dark and dim in here, and from an outside perspective, I'm not crazy about the way it looks. You know, if you step up to the Elantra, they really made that car so much more dramatic than this one. Still, worth a look. And I'm Kevin Gordon from Autosavant.com. Stay tuned for future reviews of all the cars that I get to drive. And I look forward to talking to you soon.